Hey guys, so I have a replacement half sovereign. Now you might have seen my video a little while ago. I bought a 1926 SA half sovereign and it turns out it was a little bit dodgy. It just didn't add up. From straight out of the packet, it just didn't seem right. Sigma didn't like it. I thought the weight was a little bit heavy. It was just over 4 grams. Numerous things and all the small details that were just way off. So anyway, I sent it back, got a refund, and in case you haven't seen that video, it was a smaller dealer, not one of the big online dealers, but nevertheless they were quick to take it back. But anyway, I was a little bit disappointed because I would quite like to have a few of the colonial half sovereigns. So anyway, this half came up, and this is a 1925. So unfortunately I don't have both of the half sovereigns here to compare head to head. But just straight away, let's carefully tip him out. This is actually quite a fancy screw capsule. Very nice. Throw that out of the way. And yeah, here we have our 1925 SA. Now, first of all, the thing that we didn't like about the 1926 was the rim. The rim was like really serrated. Now this one, it's got a minor knock just on the left hand side there at about 9 o'clock. You can't really see it from that angle, but if you were looking, at a super macro mode, there's just a tiny little nick there. Nothing major, you can't really tell. Just depends on the angle. But the first thing that struck me about the suspect sovereign, or half sovereign, it was very pale. It had that really serrated edge, and it just didn't look right. Some of the details were just a little bit off. Now this one, it looks the right colour, so this is like my across the room look. It looks fine. The rim, it doesn't look like a saw blade. Doesn't look like it's going to cut anybody in half. Let me just see if I can show you that. See, it looks quite normal. Pretty happy with that. There's that little tiny knock on the edge, but it's very, very minor. So I'm happy with this coin initially. Now I'm going to whip the scales out and see what it says. So I have already tested this on the Sigma. It's not my first time looking at the coin, so I'm pretty happy that it is genuine. I'm just going to pop this on here. So these are some quite precise scales. These go down to 3 decimal points. They go to a maximum of 50 grams. So obviously for this coin it should be fine. And we've got 3.999. So the other one, it came up over 4, which was a bit concerning. Shouldn't really be so overweight. And although like I say, the coin looked fairly close, there were just some glaring details that made it look a bit suspicious. So on here, see the lettering looks okay, George looks okay. And the main thing on the other coin that we picked up on was like the texture. So let me just hold this a little bit closer for you. But if you look at the back of the coin, like the fields of the coin, so the bits around the design, there's no sort of really weird, they were like striations, I suppose. I can't remember what we ended up calling them, but it was like a really weird ripple effect. So this looks much better. Also, there isn't much wear at all on this, so that's what we would expect in terms of weight. The other one had a bit of wear but was still overweight, so that was a little bit suspicious. Just it all added up. There was a lot of little things. It wasn't one glaringly obvious thing. It was a lot of little things. Another thing we picked up on was the SA mint mark on the other one. So here we are zoomed in, and you can see above the 9 and the 2 there is that tiny little mint mark. The camera's just about picking it up. Now on the other coin, the SA looked really defined, like it was stood out. It just looked way too defined for the wear that was on the coin. So like I say, on this coin there's not a lot of wear. The coin looks good in terms of colour, in terms of texture, in terms of the design. There's no anomalies with the cape or the horse's tail. The dragon looks okay, the hooves, the horse, the rider. Everything just looks as it should. So like I say, I'm happy this is a genuine coin. It did come from another smaller dealer. Like I say, I will use smaller dealers. It's not that you know, one has knocked my trust in them. I just think the one that I got the previous coin from just didn't check it right, or maybe, you know, they had a lot of coins in, just didn't pay enough attention, which is a bit of a shame, but you know, it can happen. It was a very good counterfeit, if it was indeed a counterfeit. You know, it's hard to prove it definitively, but you know, showing it to quite a few people who I know who are very keen on their sovereigns, and not many of them liked it, to be honest. So I know it's always hard to look on video or on photos, but yeah, this is the one that I'm happy is genuine. So nice to add to the stack. In terms of mintage, I think it was 946,000. Can't work a capsule. There we go. Yeah, I think it was 946,000 for these, so less than a million. That puts it, you know, a bit lower than something like a India Mint 1918. Puts it a bit lower than the 1932s. And yeah, there's you know, relatively low mintage. So these half sovereigns, I did consider doing a half sovereign date run as well as the full sovereign date run. I just think when it comes to the Victorias, it's going to be just so expensive to get them, you know, get them in nice conditions. There's some very low mintages in there, and you often see coins going for sale, you know, the Victorias, and it's like the silhouette of the portrait basically, so you can't see. I know this is a George, but for example, you just see like the outline of the head, and that's considered like a reasonable one to put in a collection. So I'm not really too keen on the idea of that. I will pick up the George mint marks as and when I see fit. Basically, if they come up at a reasonable price, you know, I won't go around chasing them. Shield Sovereign's making quite a bit of progress with those, so that is quite interesting. And we are just picking up a bit more bullion, so building up the numbers in that as well. So as I record the video, the gold price is a bit higher. So often when the price is higher, some of the more premium coins, they don't tend to move as much, so might be better value buying some more shields. Whereas if you're just buying best value bullion, then the price of that tracks spot quite closely. And so, you know, buying that might be a bit more expensive. So could be a time to buy some premium stuff. Just depends on the deals, really. You know, there's people selling gold at spot, even spot with postage, and even just slightly under spot. Just trying to move it. It just seems like the market's perhaps a bit crowded with people selling at the moment, with the prices being higher. And, you know, some people just fancy a change. Maybe people need the money for other things. Lots of reasons why people might sell a little bit here and there. But that is my half sovereign for today. So yeah, let me know what you think. Do you like the look of this one compared to the last one? And yeah, I'm, like I say, pretty happy to say this one is genuine. For those that did ask, I didn't include the Sigma reading on the other coin, and the Sigma did not like it at all. On this one, the Sigma is happy with it. You know, the Sigma is a Metalytics verifier, so it's not a conclusive proof whether a coin is fake or real, but it does suggest that the metal is as it is expected to be. So if, for example, the carat was off, or the metal was wrong, or there was another metal, then the Sigma would read outside of its brackets. And anyway, I'll show you more on that in another video if you haven't seen that before. Hope you enjoyed this one, and let me know in the comments.